All right. What is our next community question, Jared?
Okay. Sarah asks, does a team made up primarily of creative types handle adversity better or worse than a more traditional team?
What a good question, Sarah. So I would say, obviously, like this team, any sort of marketing or advertising agency is made up mostly of creative types, right? And so the question is, do these types of teams handle adversity better than other teams? So, like, what's a team that is not made up of creatives? Like,
Or like a team of accountants.
I was going to say accountants.
Wow.
What's the opposite of a creative?
Accountants.
Somebody that deals with taxes all day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, only in realities.
Only in realities.
Okay, so my first thought is I feel like it could go either way. It's like because creatives are often very, we can be adaptable, right? We can very solutions oriented and finding many different ways to a solution. However, we're also very sensitive, I would say, and prideful.
Because in that moment, creatives often have the type of brain that can assess the situation and then come up with a course of action that they want to undertake and also defend.
Yes.
And so, if multiple creatives are in the room and there's a problem, oftentimes problems are multifaceted and have multiple sufficient solutions, and you can butt heads about, I think that this is a more, delicate and nuanced way to go about doing this, even though it's just sort of pedantic.
Sure, and creatives, by the nature of being creative, think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever adversary.
Adversely.
Adversely?
Whatever adversities.
Adversary. Wait.
Anniversary?
Adversity.
Somebody
Oh my goodness.
I
remember.
have broken everyone.
Adversity.
Remember the anniversary.
You're welcome.
You're
That was
welcome.
mass hysteria. Holy cow. All of us forgot.
We're all going insane. No, then when they face stuff like that, they're more able to think of new creative ideas and try to solve this problem. But there's also the part where I'd be afraid that that's all they're doing is thinking of ways to solve the problem and not actually
And
solving
no one's
it.
getting around to implementing
Right.
it.
Because, if you have strictly creatives and not necessarily somebody who is putting structure into the creatives, like somebody who has more of a right brain, left brain, whatever the opposite of creative
Just
brain
maybe
is.
more
I think left
analytical
brain
and
is the
linear.
Right.
analytical.
Then sometimes not anything gets done.
Yes.
So at first, I want to say, yeah, creatives would be better at it. But thinking about it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, creatives are great at filling up the whiteboard.
Yes.
But,
But like following through
And
with
actually,
set steps.
but like actually erasing all the other ideas and choosing one.
Yes.
yeah.
Can they
and-
do that?
And then remembering what we wrote on the whiteboard and doing it.
Right.
Yes.
Implementing it.
Always take pictures of the whiteboard.
Always take
Always.
pictures.
I also think creatives often have a lot of self-awareness, and so we can see, okay, this is adversity happening to us, and I now need to respond, and here's how I'm feeling about that. And I think that can be positive and negative the same way. It's positive because, again, we can analyze what's going on, what solutions could be there, but it might paralyze us to actually act. We might be able to just be stuck in all of our feelings and not be able to act. I was asking, when I get ready for the podcast, I often will ask people I know questions so that I can get their feedback and kind of work it into what I'm going to say. My boyfriend is in IT, and I asked him about his feelings around fear and creativity, and he's like, I don't really feel fear about really anything in my job. I just do it, And that seemed so freeing to me. Like the concept just baffled him. That
What a
Job
world.
without
why
fear
would
stakes.
people feel fear?
It's some people's jobs. They have the thing that they need to do, and they do the thing, and they don't really need to think about anything else. Don't have to think outside the box.
Which kind of does make dealing with adversity a little bit more simple, maybe.
Well, because there's in those situations, there is oftentimes a much more concrete, pointable solution that's obvious to everybody as like the one lane to go.
So the types of problems that creative teams come across are often things that we're well suited to handle. Whereas if a simple problem came to us, we might not.
We might overcomplicate it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I find that kind of interfacing between imagination and reality to be a thing too. Like, are we using our creativity and imagination to find creative solutions to the problem and interface with reality? Or are we doing like me, like, oh no, there is adversity. maybe I will retreat to fantasy or imagination or things like that, and kind of having it as something apart from the problem itself, like a refuge, where maybe somebody who either was more logical about solving problems or somebody who is able to like channel that creativity in the right way might be able to interface with reality better.
Wow.
Beautifully said.
The number of times I have been like afraid of an oncoming thing or deadline that was just too far away to motivate me doing anything about it, and I just started filling my notebook with ideas about some random creative pursuit that was fully distracting me and keeping me sheltered from the thing I was hiding from.